Want a soar? Get a mentor. Hey, it's Nina Carmichael. We made this video, it's because you're probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more. And you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband, Evan Carmichael. Mentor me, Evan. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1, be bold.
What would the boldest version of you do? Think about your mission. Think about your goals. Think about what you are trying to accomplish. You've got what you're doing now, but think about what the boldest version of you, if you summoned the boldest version of you into existence right now, what would he or she tell you to do? So when I did my tour earlier this year, it was 90 days, 23 cities, and at first I wanted to do it for free. I love doing free coffee shop meetups every time I travel to a new city, and I told my agent Steve in New York, hey man, this is my idea. He said, you need to charge for the event. You gotta play bigger. You gotta do a bolder version of you. And it's freaked me out. It scared me because I don't want to disappoint people. And the idea of charging for something and then me disappointing people and then hitting that fear every 4 days, because I got up in a new city every 3 to 4 days for 90 days, was me being able to conquer my fears. And so Steve pushed me, and I have Steve's voice in my head. It's like, you need to play bigger. You got to do something bolder. What's the next step? And so I'm looking at my next tour coming up in 2020 around my book, Built to Serve, and I'm trying to think, how do I make it even bigger? How do I make it even bolder? Because what I've done has been great. And it's not trying to take away from what I've done. It's amazing. I'm proud of myself. I'm grateful. Awesome. And I know I'm capable of more. And I know I need to do something at the next level, because if I want to go off and accomplish my mission, I need to. Because at the rate I'm going right now, I'm not going to hit 1 billion people. I'm not going to solve the world's biggest problem. I'm not going to have the impact and reach that I know I can have unless I demand more boldness, bigger scale from myself on a daily basis. And so for me, having Steve's voice in my head, having Elon Musk's voice in my head, having Steve Jobs and Ipa Giannini and my parents and Kanye West and Howard Schultz constantly in my head, the content that I make is for myself. It's selfish for myself, and then I share it with you guys, and thankfully you like it, so I can build a business around it and hire a team and keep creating more. What makes you bold? What makes you come alive? And how do you summon that creature on a daily basis? If you wake up and you daily, every day, consistently are bringing the boldest version of you, even for 1 year, if you woke up every day for 1 year and summoned the boldest version of you, your life is going to look dramatically different 1 year from today. So how do you start playing a bigger game and being more bold? I'm going to give you a 3-step process that I think is going to help. Step number 1, what would the boldest version of you do? Just asking that question, just taking 5 minutes, sit down, grab your coffee, eat your breakfast, have no distractions, and just think about it for 5 minutes. What would the boldest version of you today do? What would you do? Look at your day ahead. Look at your plans. Look at what you've got up in your schedule today. If you were bold, if you summoned the boldest version of you today, what would you do differently? And then summon the strength and summon the courage and go do that thing. Step number 2 is think big and act small. Think big, act small. You have to think big because you're an entrepreneur. You've got big dreams, big ambitions. We want to change the world. You got an important mission, a vision that's driving you every day, right? I feel it. I'm connected to it too. I got a big vision that I never want to end. I want to chase it down for the rest of my life. But sometimes the big vision, yes, it is empowering and yes, it is inspiring, but sometimes it seems too big. Sometimes it seems impossible. Sometimes it seems like we're never going to do it without getting venture capital and partnerships and a huge team and all of these things. And then you stack it on top of each other and then you don't do anything because it's too big an idea that you can't do it alone. That's where you need to act small. Think big, big vision, but act small. Like, what's the smallest, simplest, easiest thing that you can just do right now? It might be just picking up your phone and making a video. You want to have a YouTube channel? You want to build momentum? Create a video today, right now. And you won't know what you're talking about, and you won't have perfect audio, and you won't have the great lighting, and it will be garbage editing. Great. Because the biggest thing that's missing from you, from your mission actually happening, is momentum. You're a genius. You've got great ideas. That thing that's in here needs to be birthed. but there's no momentum. You're not doing enough on a daily basis to actually create that thing and get it out to the world. So think big, act small. And step number 3 is to understand that your bucket list is your excuse list. People walk around with a bucket list of things that they want to do before they die. The problem is you've given yourself until you die as your timeline. It's an excuse list. Look at what's on that bucket list. Everything on there is excuses. You've come up with stories as to why you can't do it. I just came back from speaking at Dean Graziosi's and Brendan Burchard's event in Phoenix, and there was a woman who was in front of me, said, hey, I've got dancing on my bucket list. She found out that I had owned Toronto Dance Salsa, and now dancing's on my bucket list. Like, don't say that. Your bucket list is your excuse list. And then she was taken aback, but then she looked down and she pulled up her dress a little bit, and you could see she had a broken foot or something wrong with one of her legs. I said, great. She's showing it to me as if, oh, now I'm supposed to understand your situation. That's why you can't go dancing. She showed it to me, and then I said, okay, can you march? Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you march? She says, yeah, I can march, I can walk. Great, give me your hands. And I picked her up, and we started doing merengue. And I was doing all these turn patterns and making her move and turning around, and she had her first merengue dance. And then she realized, all I need is somebody to hold on to. I can dance, I just need somebody to hold on to. Don't wait until 5 years later, 10 years later, until you die for that bucket list to happen. Today, your bucket list is your excuse list. Stop telling yourself all the reasons why you can't do something, and if it was important enough to you, you'll chase it down. I'm passionate about this. I'm going to tell you one more story. There was one guy, same event, who says getting to the top of whatever mountain is on his bucket list. But he doesn't have the money to do it, and he doesn't have the time to do it, and all this stuff. And he's doing all these little things instead of chasing down his one big goal. If he hit the top of the mountain, everything else in his life would change, would be different. He'll come back a different person, a different human. All the things that he thinks are so important to him right now will not be important when he comes back. These little projects that are distracting him from doing the big thing that he wants to do will disappear. He'll come back a new human with a whole different path ahead of him. You have to figure out a way to get to the top of that mountain. You have to figure out, look at your bucket list and recognize that's just a list of excuses you've got there. Pick the thing that you actually care about and go chase it down immediately.
Also, if you want to have more confidence and motivation, check out our 254 series. It's free. The link is in the description below.
Find whatever the smallest first step is, and then the smallest next step is, and continue to build those steps. And when you look back, you'll have realized that you made some pretty significant progress.
You can use rejection as fuel to help you go off and do something bigger and motivation to, I'm going to prove them wrong.
It's got to be your life's work. If you only had to write one book ever in your life, this is it, and it's got to be amazing.
Rule number 2, do difficult things.
Self-confidence comes from doing difficult things. From trying, failing, getting back up, and trying again a different way. Your goals don't count until they're hard. You won't make yourself proud unless it's hard. And it's time to start making yourself proud of your effort. So I'm in the process of writing a new book. And I sent the book out to 30 of my friends and friends of friends to get their feedback. And I'm on a crazy deadline with the publisher. I got it here. This is the copy. This is what I gave out to 30 different people. And they gave me all the books back on the same day. And then what I had to do was go through each copy and underline. I underlined, can you see? Kind of blurry. I underlined, anytime they underlined, I underlined. Because I wanted to see what they cared about, as well as catching typos and everything else. And I looked at that pile of books. I had 30 books I had to get through in one day. I had to basically read my own book 30 different times, make one master copy, underline it the whole day. And it stressed me out. I looked at that stack of books and said, how am I going to get through all this stuff? And then I just started taking action. I just started doing it. And here's the thing, halfway through, I started getting massive pain. My neck was really hurting me. My back was really hurting me. My neck mostly because I broke my neck in March and I'm still healing and recovering from it. And I had to spend the whole time like this, right? I got the books here on the table and I'm flipping through it and I'm doing this. And it takes a toll the whole day doing it like this. So a couple hours in, I'm having massive neck pain. It's the best, right? Like, I gotta get through it. This is the time. It doesn't count until it's hard. I don't want to be doing this every single day, right? If that's every day you need to change your life, you need to change your habits. But in those rare moments, when you get the chance to push yourself, either physically, mentally, or just courage because you're afraid of doing something, that's your chance. That's your chance to show yourself what you're made of. It was painful. And at the end of the day, I got through it. I got all 30 done. I had to get a massage and my wife stood on my back and I did a Epsom salt bath and tried to relax it, and it hurt for the next couple of days more than usual. But the biggest thing was I felt great about myself because it was difficult. You want to build self-confidence? It comes from doing difficult things. If I backed down as soon as it got hard, right? 2 hours in, I did 5 books. And I'm like, oh, my neck is hurting, I can't do this. And I back down. That's the message that keeps getting repeated in my head. That's the record that plays over and over and over again. That when things get difficult, I back down. When things gets hard, I back down. As soon as it gets tough, I don't follow through. I don't want to play that record. That's not how I want to talk to myself. I want to be proud of my effort to push through. And yes, there may be some time when you hit a physical max. And yes, I'm not saying every day to put massive stress on your body so that you freak out and have to go to the hospital. I'm not saying that, but I want you to be proud of your effort. And it's in those moments where life sometimes punches you in the face that you have an opportunity to say, I'm going to prove to myself that I am strong, that I am capable, that I can handle this, and I'm going to be proud of my effort. So how can you build more confidence? I'm going to give you a 3-step process you can follow. Step number 1 is tie your self-worth to the effort. People tie their self-worth to winning and to the results. It's one of the biggest diseases in the world. I think it is. I think it's what's destroying everybody's self-confidence. You tie your self-worth to the results. You tie your self-worth to winning. You only feel good about yourself when you're winning. Why? What's wrong with winning? I love winning. Nothing wrong with winning. The problem though, when you tie your self-worth to winning, is that you only take on small things. Because you're only going to take on things that you have a fairly high chance of winning at. Because you don't want to hate yourself. So you're not going to take on the massive, impossible, crazy things because you have a very low chance of winning at that thing. And so you play small for life. That's most people. They stay inside their comfort zone. They play small for life because they tie their self-worth to winning. Because as long as you're doing something you know how to do, you're likely going to win. Great, keep doing that. And then you actually hate your life because you're just photocopying the same day over and over and over again. The trick is to flip how you get your self-worth. You flip your self-worth so that you tie it to the effort that you're putting in. Are you proud of your effort? Even if you don't get results. Are you proud of the effort that you put in? Even if I couldn't finish the book, right? Even if I couldn't go through all 30 copies. Even if at some point my body just gave out on me and I couldn't go forward. Like this is it. I got through 5 books and I'm done. Like it's my physical max. I'd be proud of my effort. You might look at the results and say, you suck. You only did 5 out of 30. I'm saying I'm amazing because I tried my hardest. My hardest. I'm at my limit. I physically can't keep going. I'm done. That's how you get your self-worth. And if you tie your self-worth to the effort, you'll actually fail a lot more than you'll win. You'll fail a lot more than you'll win. But net, you're going to win more than most people. Because now you're failing at bigger things and then you start winning at much bigger things. You need to learn to tie your self-worth to the effort and praise yourself every time you are proud of it. Number 2 is expect to suck at the beginning. Here's another reason why people don't start. Because they expect to be great. You expect your first video to be great. You expect your first book to be great. You expect the first time you do the next thing to be great. Why do you think you're going to be great? It's the first time you're doing it. The first time you do anything, you need to expect to suck. It does not mean that you suck as a human. Again, it's where do you get your self-worth from? From winning? Then you feel that you suck as a human if you go out and you suck at the beginning. It's that you were willing to try, right? You're supposed to suck at the beginning. If you're trying anything worth doing, you're supposed to suck at the beginning. Your first video should suck. If your first video does not suck, you should have started 4 years ago. If you're great at the beginning, whatever you try to do, if you're amazing the first time out, I'm pissed at you because you should have done it 4 years ago. You were ready 4 years ago to start, and now you've wasted all this time. Expect to suck at the beginning. It's natural, it's okay, it's normal, it's part of the process. And if you expect to suck at the start, then it relieves the burden, it relieves the stress. Because now you can go out and fail. You're giving yourself permission to not be good at the start. But if every day you wake up and you're proud of your effort, I guarantee you, you're gonna get good. And step number 3 is ask yourself, what would the most bold version of you do?
This is a question I asked somebody on my team when he was struggling to make a decision. I said, what would the most bold version of you do? It just came out. We're sitting in a coffee shop. Should I do this or do this? I'm like, I don't know. What would the most bold version of you do? And it triggered a light bulb for him. He's like, I love that. I would do this. And it just gave him the absolute clarity that he needed to go for it. And so ask yourself that question. You're struggling right now. You're trying to figure out which path to go down. What would the most bold version of you do? That is the right path. And your head is talking you down from doing it because your head only understands logic and the world that exists. Where your heart, your boldness can create something new. The decisions you make when you're feeling bold are the right ones for you. What would the most bold version of you do? Then go start doing it, expect to suck, and be proud of your effort.
And rule number 3, the last one before our very special bonus clip, take more action.
Hope without action leads to pain and suffering. Watching videos like this is not enough. It might give you hope, but hope that is not tied to action and you doing something will mean you never accomplish your goals. The answer is always action. It's hope and then action. And when that doesn't work out, more action. And when that doesn't work out, more action. So a couple years ago, I was in New York and I was meeting with my agents, and one of them said, what am I trying to do? What's my vision? What's my mission? What am I trying to accomplish? And I said, I wanted to spread belief. I wanted to spread hope. And he jumped all over me about the hope. Like, you want to spread hope? Hope's not enough. You can't just do hope. And I remember walking away, he's like, what's he talking about? Hope is so important. If you don't have hope, how are you going to believe in yourself to go chase something down? Without hope, you got nothing, right? Without hope and belief, you got nothing. Where I realized the difference in the thinking is the usage of the word is people hope things will happen. It's not having hope in something, it's hoping that it's gonna happen, and then they sit on their bed, sit on their couch, sit at home and do nothing. That kind of hope, that's not a strategy. Hope and belief is your first step. It's your first entry point in. You have hope that things will happen. But then you gotta get up and do something, right? And so figuring out that message when I was talking to my agent didn't come to me right away in the moment, because at the same time, as much as I'm filled with hope and belief in humanity and what we can all do, I'm working, right? I'm taking action. I'm making 3 to 4 videos every day. We haven't had a day in the past 5 years where a video hasn't gone up. Every single day. I don't know what that consecutive streak is, but it's long, it's big. I'm working my face off every day in the achievement of my mission. But I also love hope and belief. It's why I have this channel, it's why I have my other channels, is I want to be around people who've done a lot more. I want to learn from the greats. I want to learn from people who know more than me. And when I see that, it gives me hope that it's possible. It gives me belief that it's possible, that if they can do it, I can do it too. But you still have to do it. The ability to do it versus actually executing and doing it are two very different things, right? The difference gap is going to be the action. And so, yes, I want you to have hope. I think it's important, but it's not the only thing. You got to make sure you turn that hope and not just rely on a strategy, but you're doing the daily work to chase down your dreams.
And now I got a very special bonus clip from Evan on how to show up. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I want to know, where do you need to be bold in your life? Let me know down in the comment below. And if you made it this far on the video and you're still watching and you promise to take action after watching this video, Believe Nation, we don't just watch video, we do stuff. If that's you, please leave a hashtag Believe in the comment below because we want to celebrate you.
People don't show up for one of 3 reasons. Number 1 is you're afraid. You're afraid of rejection, you're afraid of failure, you're afraid of it not working out, and so you just don't show up. Number 2 is you're not consistent. You show up some days, but you don't show up other days because you don't have the routines and habits in place to make you show up consistently every single day. And number 3 is you don't want to. You don't want to show up because you don't actually enjoy the thing that you're about to do. You would rather procrastinate on it because you don't love it, and showing up is more painful than just sitting around. So my goal today with this video is to help you bust through these so that you can show up for life and have the impact that you want to have. So I think the fear of showing up is actually a good thing. It means that you are doing something different, something outside your comfort zone, something that is not normal, that is new, and that's good. You want to be pushing the envelope. If there was nothing that you were afraid to show up to today, tomorrow, next week, then you're not growing, you're not learning, you're not pushing against your boundaries and comfort zones. And so even today, I had to show up. And again, it should be every single day. So today, I was procrastinating on sending out an email to Grant, as well as a couple other people, where I'm looking at doing more collaborations, more work on my YouTube channel, more cross-pollination connection to other successful YouTubers to help the whole entrepreneur YouTube community grow, right? I want to get the message out there. I want to be playing a bigger game. And so I emailed Grant and I emailed 4 other people with a new idea that I had. So when the idea was first suggested to me about doing this and reaching out, I had a little bit of nerves, like, okay, it's gonna require an ask. I might get rejected, it may not work out. And I had it scheduled for today, because today was my YouTube day. And so I look at the list today, and like, maybe I should start with 1 person, or 2 people, or just pick the easy people. And just the fact that I felt that, just the fact that that was one of the reasons meant I had to go and do 5. I had to do a bigger number. I had to go after the harder people. I had to do the people that I thought may say yes, may say no, may make me look bad if they say no. And a lot of it is just head games. The honest truth is, Grant's probably not gonna care. Grant's probably gonna say yes. Like 98% chance he says yes, and he passes it on to somebody on his team. We start working together and we create the collaboration. 1% chance he ignores it, and 1% chance he says no. But it's not the logical, rational things that hold us back. It's the emotional, fearful things. And so what I've trained myself to do is anytime I feel that oh my God, it may not work out, then I have to do it. I have to do it. I have just to show myself, because the worst thing you can do is get to the edge of the cliff and say you're gonna jump and then not jump. It's better not to catch that you're nervous. It's better not to even come up with the idea, to just float around in ignorance. Ignorance is bliss, than to catch it and then play small. And so as soon as you catch it, I've trained myself, I want you to do the same thing. As soon as you catch it, train yourself to do it. Even if it doesn't work out, just training yourself that you don't back down when you are afraid.
If you want to know how to overcome your fear, check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. Continue to believe. We'll see you there.
Your fear is not a good enough reason not to take action. I want to give you the tool to actually get your message out there. I actually want to share something with you